Welcome to my channel. Please be sure to click the like button and subscribe so you can see more of my videos in the future. Thank you. This video today is for the Amazing Apples Collaboration 2022 that I am hosting, Texas Country Wife. Today I will be making for you a Crockpot apple cider pork roast. Okay, so I've already messed up on my meal plan for today. I thought I had pork steaks and I don't. What I have is a pork shoulder with a bone in it. And I was going to just use my applesauce on top of my pork steaks and some onions, but that's not going to work. So I'm going to throw this bad boy in the crock pot. I'm going to put it on high heat instead of low heat because it's so big. And I'm going to put these onions in there that I canned myself. I'm going to use some of my favorite seasoning. We're going to save the applesauce to serve on the side. And I have some apple juice here that I'm going to pour in there. So I will show you a picture of that once I get it all in the crock pot. Okay, I got my canning jar open of my onions and I threw those in there. Next, I've got a cup of my apple cider. I'm sorry, that wasn't apple juice, it's apple cider. So I'm going to put a cup of that in there to give our pork roast, instead of our pork steaks, some apple flavor. I'm going to use a teaspoon of my seasoning. And we're going to put that in there. I'm going to stir this around. And then I'm going to throw that pork shoulder in here and get this going on high. So that we'll have this for a late dinner tonight. Okay, so there's my frozen pork shoulder, bone in, and my apple cider and my onions and my seasoning. And I'm going to keep an eye on this, but I know this is going to produce a lot of liquid in here because it's frozen and it's got fat on it. I put the top layer up of fat. That's up top. And we're going to get this on high. I'll get the lid on here. We got to get this cooking. The light did come on? Yes, it came on. All right. So I'll come back and let you know if I have to add anything else to this. Otherwise, I will show you when it's done. I've got this one poor little apple here that's got a bad spot. I'm going to go ahead and cut that bad spot out of him, and I'm going to cut the rest of it up, and I'm going to throw that in that crock pot too. Okay, I got this apple cut into pieces. Now I'm sure this is going to cook down to nothing, but it is going to give this roast, this pork shoulder roast, some more apple flavor, which is what we want. Alright, so we got that in there. Alright, and see, this is another good way to use up things that you've got in your refrigerator. Instead of losing them and throwing them away, use them and make a good meal. Okay, at the 4-hour mark, this meat still was not done, so I took it out and I removed all of the meat off of the bone. I then added another cup of apple cider and I added some more seasonings, which I will list out in the description box below my video for you. And I cooked it for another 4 hours to get it to become tender enough to be able to eat and to get it thoroughly cooked. So we didn't end up having this for dinner tonight, but we will have it tomorrow night. It's finally cooled down enough now that I can get it into the refrigerator. So that's what's for dinner tomorrow night. Okay, my awesome, amazing, strong hubby cut these 3 acorn squash for me. Acorn squash. They were nice and ripe. And as you can see, I've already got 2 cleaned over here. They're beautiful. And they smell delicious, even though they're not even cooked yet. I just love squash. What can I say? Alright, so anyway, I'm going to finish cleaning out these other 2. And we are going to get them on this cookie sheet. And then I will flip them upside down and put them into the water on this cookie sheet. And you're going to bake this at 400 degrees for 40 to 50 minutes or until they are soft. And what I like to do is halfway through the cook time, before they're too hot for me to handle, is then I will take them from this position, I will turn them over, I'll put a little bit of butter, brown sugar, and a dash of nutmeg in those. And then we'll finish roasting them like that, because then that gives that nutmeg and butter and brown sugar a chance to soak into that squash and flavor it up, and it's so good. And then we'll just eat them like this on our plate tonight. And these other guys, tomorrow I will scrape them out after they're cooled down out of the refrigerator, and I will put them into freezer-safe Ziploc bags, and I'll throw them in the freezer. And then we'll have already cooked squash for 2 other meals later on this month or in December. So this is economical doing it this way. You get 3, you cook once, and have squash for 3 meals. It saves on the electricity or the gas for your oven. So anyway, let me get these cleaned. Let me get them on the cookie sheet and into the oven, and then I'll show you what they look like halfway through the cook time. Okay, so I have added my cookie sheet to my oven rack, and I've put a little bit of water in there. And I will monitor this every 10 minutes and make sure I keep water in there. And then I just place the squash on the cookie sheet just like that. And then we're going to very slowly and carefully push this back in because I've already dumped water in my oven and made a big, huge puddle. Okay, there we go. All right, so like I said, 400 degrees for about 40 to 50 minutes. I'm going to check my water every 10 minutes, and halfway through the cook time, I'm going to flip these over, put butter, brown sugar, and nutmeg in the middle. Okay, halfway through the cooking time, I use my turkey baster to pull a lot of the water off the cookie sheet into this pan here, so I still have hot water to put back on the tray in case I need it. And that was just so I didn't spill it coming out of the oven. And then I flip these over using my heavy-duty oven mitt on one hand and a spatula in the other, and get them flipped over. Now I'm going to add the butter, brown sugar, and nutmeg. Okay, I've put about 1 to 2 tablespoons of brown sugar in each one of those, just depending on the size, because some of them were littler than the others. And then I put a little pat of butter in there, maybe half a tablespoon. And the heat from these squash is already melting my brown sugar. So, alright, now we'll come in here and we'll sprinkle a little nutmeg into each one. And a little goes a long way with nutmeg. You can always add more later, but you can't take it out. Ah, this is smelling so good. It smells like fall here. It looks like fall. We love this. This is our favorite squash. Okay, so we've got another 20 minutes to cook like this. And this guy's leaning up against him because I don't want all this butter and brown sugar to come out of him. He was leaning sideways, so he's being propped up by that guy there. All right, we'll see you in 20 minutes. Oh, and don't forget to put a little bit of water back in this tray here. So I will do that with my turkey baster and this hot pot of water that I pulled off of here. But I don't want to spill that hot water on me. So I pull that before I remove the tray, and then I put some back. And there we have it, y'all. The acorn squash is done. The butter and the brown sugar have melted into there with the nutmeg. It's beautiful. It smells good in here. It will be absolutely delicious with our dinner tonight. Sorry if you hear background noises. My hubby is working with some power tools on the house. Anyway, there you have it. Acorn squash, the way my grandma and my mama always used to make it. Yummy. There we have it. Our acorn squash and our apple cider pork roast. Absolutely beautiful and smells delicious. And I've already tasted everything. It's wonderful. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video.